Sitting at my van, and we heard a screech and we heard a crash. So first of all, I thought it was just like a car crash. So I just stood there and was watching, and then I saw a police officer chasing him and pulled in, and then the suspect jumped out of his car and he was headed towards the police car, and I saw him with his hand in his pocket. So immediately I yelled at my kids to get in the van and put their heads down, because that's where we were, right there. We didn't want to run to the house. So the suspect ran to the police car and he opened the door, and I was watching from the van and I thought they were just punching. But then I realized after that he was actually stabbing the police officer. He hopped out of his vehicle, and then somehow the suspect got into the police car, shut the door, shots were fired at the door. Then I don't know what happens to the police officer. The police officer that got stabbed, he must have gone to the other side of the vehicle, because another police officer came and he took over.
Another police officer was the one who fired the shot at the suspect?
Yes, yep. Another police officer came and he was able to handcuff the suspect, who was not listening to them. He wasn't getting down. So he fired a couple shots. Then he was able to handcuff him.
What was it like watching this whole thing?
I was traumatized. I was scared just thinking of my kids and just thinking, okay, he could have had a gun, he could have just opened fire. So that's why my first thing was get in the van, get your heads down. And then, watching it and knowing that there were at least 2 cops there at first, I was like, okay. But I wanted to keep watching just to make sure that if I needed to call for, 911 or anything, just to make sure that they were okay.
Were they yelling at the suspect to put the weapon? Could you hear yelling?
I heard one of the cops say, "Get down." I did hear the word knife, but obviously I was just kind of in the middle of it and didn't really.
But it wasn't the trooper who was being under attack who fired the shot. You believe it came from another trooper?
The shots fired at the vehicle, I think, were from the trooper who got stabbed, because he was with him first, and then another trooper came and he fired the shots at the suspect.
How many times was he going after this officer with his knife?
Gosh, I don't know. It just looked like punching to me. It just looked like over and over again. It all happened super fast.
And how many shots did you hear?
Maybe 2 at the door when the suspect was in the police vehicle, and then when he got out, I want to say it was 2 or 3. He was on our front lawn. When the suspect was shot on our front lawn, it was about 2 or 3 shots.
So you live at the house here when this all
yes.
happened?
Yes, yep.
And so where were you again? We got here late.
I was out front just cleaning out my van.
What did you do once they had him in handcuffs?
My mother-in-law was home, and she actually had locked the doors, but she knew we were in the van. So then when she knew he was handcuffed, she came out to the porch and yelled at us to come inside. So we went inside.
Did you hear the suspect or the trooper say anything? What did they each say?
I heard nothing from the suspect at all. I just heard the trooper yell at him to get down. I heard that he had a knife. I heard a knife. And then when I ran in with my kids, I heard the trooper that arrested him say, "There's kids!" What are you thinking?
So the trooper was initially by himself, and then another cruiser pulled up?
They were pretty close behind each other. It happened super fast, so.
I'm confused by the